What's up? What's going on? Post week 5 NFL reaction show. Man, what a day of NFL football. And if you ever see me looking this way, I am looking at my screen is here, got my stats and things up like that. One thing I do want to mention, this is the longest day in football, I think, since the merger. 15 hours and 37 minutes of football. Why did it take so long? Well, because there's a huge weather delay in the Steelers versus Cowboys game, and that resulted in a weather delay that is put us into the longest week we've ever had of NFL football. 15 hours, guys. 15 hours of live football for us to watch. And of course, of course, let's start off by talking about the Steelers versus Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. Two historic franchises, two of the most historic franchises in NFL history. When you think of the NFL, you think of a couple blue blood franchises. You think of the Dallas Cowboys, Pittsburgh Steelers, Green Bay Packers. Those are the big three, in my opinion. Some people might want to add the New York Giants in there. I feel like their history is not really conclusive of being up there as one of the top three big dogs. The three big dogs are the Steelers, Cowboys, and the Packers. Now, maybe the 49ers can fit that bill too, but that is not the point of this. The point here is to react and talk about what was a milestone, huge, unbelievable win for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll start off with everything good about the Dallas Cowboys this game. Dak Prescott, 352 yards passing. And guys, we got a fly just wanting to land on me every 2 seconds. Dak had 352 passing yards against a stout number one PFF Pittsburgh Steelers defense. He was able to move the ball at will. Sure, it only resulted in 20 points, but they're moving up and down the field after a bad weather, long weather delay. I thought that was all going to play into the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their defense. I was wrong. But this is a milestone win. This is a win that saved Mike McCarthy's job, plain and simple. Mike McCarthy was on the hot seat. And I'm not saying if they lost this game, they're going to fire him. Actually, quite the opposite. Jerry Jones has been very, very patient with his coaches lately. You saw how long Mr. Jason Garrett lasted. But like, look at these stats by Dak: 29 for 42, 352, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. And well, he became the first player in history to throw 2 interceptions in the same game on 2 different days because the game did go into Monday night. He played outstanding. They went down the field and scored a go-ahead touchdown, basically with 20 seconds left, to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh with the bad weather, with the weather delay. And the Cowboys keep pace in that division. And that's the most important thing for the Dallas Cowboys. But you want to take a look at other things in this game. The Cowboys' run game this year has been non-existent. What happened today? Rico Dowdle, 20 carries, 87 yards. Zeke added 6 for 17. Not that big. The Cowboys might have saved their season here, and they're 3-2. The Commanders are 4-1 in that division. But the big thing is here, the Cowboys still have some really big games coming up here soon. So they couldn't afford to lose this football game. They had to get the win. And well, they did that. They did just that. They got the win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you're a Cowboys fan, you should rejoice. You should be happy. 3-2. And the good news, 3-0 on the road. 0-2 at home. But the Cowboys usually have a pretty good home field advantage, and they should take care of business. If you go look at their schedule, they got the Lions coming up next. Tough game. At 49ers, at Falcons, Eagles, Texans, at Commanders. The Lions are a Super Bowl contender. 49ers have Super Bowl aspirations, even though they're highly injured. Falcons, they're probably going to win their division. The Eagles are going to be vying to try to win that division. Texans are really good. We saw today. At Commanders, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game gauntlet that they have to go at least 3-3. So if they lost today, all of a sudden you have to go 4-2 against that gauntlet. It would have made it absolutely difficult for the Cowboys to really come back and do really well this season. As for the Pittsburgh Steelers, like it was one of those things where I actually didn't think this. I thought the Steelers might be frauds. I knew their defense was good. I knew they were masking a lot of deficiencies for Justin Fields. Fields didn't look necessarily horrible today, but he didn't necessarily look amazing. 15 for 27, 131 yards, two picks, two touchdowns, no picks, but only 4.9 yards per completion, took 3 sacks. But you didn't really feel like he could get the ball down the field. And you can see that by the length of the receptions. The longest reception was by George Pickens, 21 yards. They couldn't really get much movement there. And the Steelers, well, they go back down to earth. They started off 3-0. They're 3-2 now. And that just tells you, like, okay, so they're 3-2 now. They got at Vegas, who, by the way, somehow is 3-2. The Jets, New York. They can stack up some wins, but you go look at their division. All of a sudden, we were all worried about the 0-2 Ravens. Well, the 0-2 Ravens are now 3-2 and sit on top of that division. The Bengals are 1-4. I think they play the Steelers 2 more times to the Bengals, and the Bengals are the best 1-4 team I've seen in a long, long, long time. So the Steelers are going to have a lot of work to do if they want to actually be a playoff team. Their defense is great, but their offense is just so pedestrian. Even with Justin Fields, they mask a lot of his deficiencies. I don't necessarily think he's the long-term answer in Pittsburgh, but we shall see. So that's the Pittsburgh Steelers and Dallas Cowboys instant reaction. All right, let's talk about just going through the biggest stories in the NFL. I have one before, and then we're gonna go through each and every game, but then we're gonna do something here. We're gonna just choose a story I want to talk about, and today it's gonna be Lamar Jackson. But anyway, let's start off with my Seattle Seahawks versus Giants. This is in no particular order. Look, the Seahawks kind of like the Steelers. They started off 3-0, look good. But we'll have a full podcast, me and my brother, on our Seattle on Tap channel. You can find it in my profile. But overall, the Seahawks might not be as good as we thought they were. The game came down to a couple small plays. I know the field goal was blocked, and there might have been a penalty on there, but you can't blame the referees. You're playing the Giants, and you can't blow them out at home. It's just plain and simple not good. And the Giants, Daniel Jones looks a lot better than I thought he would. Daniel Jones looks like he's okay. Brian Daboll is a hell of a head coach. Jets and Vikings. Aaron Rodgers might be cooked. He doesn't like to get hit. Plain and simple. I mean, luckily for him, not too many people watch that game because it was 6:30 a.m. in the West Coast, so a lot of people didn't wake up to watch it. But Jet fans saw it. They're probably not happy. And Vikings, you guys are 5-0. And you guys are legit contenders, and Sam Darnold is a legit contender somehow for MVP. Panthers, Bears. Whew. Caleb Williams doesn't look so bad after all, huh? 20 for 29, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he added, I believe, 1 touchdown on the ground. I'm just going to confirm that. He did not. It was called back. He looks good, and the Panthers continue to be a dumpster fire. Ravens, Bengals. All right. Lamar Jackson is unbelievable. And so is Joe Burrow. These two quarterbacks are, and this is going to be my big story of the day. So I'll actually go ahead and link that at the end of this video. But the Ravens and Bengals, two teams going opposite directions for opposite reasons. Lamar Jackson has the right supporting cast, right organization. They'll do anything to build around him. And Joe Burrow, you can't blame the guy. 392, 5 touchdowns. His team gave up 41 points, and their offense is just horrible. Defense, sorry, it's horrible. Dolphins, Patriots. This is like the bad team bowl. The Patriots are officially the worst team in the NFL. They're 1-4. Maybe the Panthers are worse. That win against Cincinnati still makes no sense. And the Dolphins, I mean, nice win, but with all your injuries, I don't think you can do anything. Browns and Commanders. Jalen Daniels is just legit. He's a legit quarterback. There's not much more you can say that. He is absolutely fantastic. He's a guy that's going to be a star in the league. Hopefully he never gets hurt. That's the only thing you worry about, a running quarterback with his like his body type. So, and the Browns suck. Sorry. Colts, Jaguars. That was a absolutely huge and important game for Trevor Lawrence. 28 for 34, 371, 2 touchdowns, a pick. He finally looked like the Trevor Lawrence that helped them get to the playoffs a few years ago and win a playoff game. He needs to build on that. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league, but he's been so bad. This game was huge for Trevor Lawrence. The Colts, I don't know how Joe Flacco keeps doing it. Just absolutely amazing by Joe Flacco. Bills, Texans, two really good teams. These teams might meet in the playoffs again. Sean McDermott with one of the weirdest coaching decisions ever by keep throwing the ball out of his end zone instead of running out the clock, and that gave the Texans a field goal. That was a absolutely coaching disaster by Sean McDermott, and that won the Texans the ball game. Raiders, Broncos. The Raiders are not 3-2; they're 2-3. The Broncos beat them. Their defense is amazing. Raiders are going to be looking for a quarterback, and somehow the Broncos are 3-2, and they're probably kind of good. Cardinals, 49ers. I should just stop looking at NFC West teams. I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. I can't predict the NFC West. The Cardinals started off looking so good. They got so bad, and then they came back and won the game with 11 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Don't understand these teams. The 49ers are unhealthy. Just flip a coin when you get into that 1 o'clock NFC West window. And Packers and Rams. Jordan Love's really good, guys. He is finally catching a groove after his injury. He went 15 for 26, 224 with 2 touchdowns and a pick, added 10 yards on the ground. But just overall, Jordan Love is the right quarterback and a guy who could be a future MVP and maybe even an MVP if things go really well this season. Okay, so the Bengals lost to the Ravens, or you can say the Ravens beat the Bengals 41-38 in what was probably the best game on the NFL schedule as far as like aesthetics. Like watching that game was amazing. But this is a tale of two quarterbacks going two opposite directions, and only because of their organization. You swap these two, they're probably in the same boat. Sure, Burrow's been to a Super Bowl, but who are you betting on to go to a Super Bowl sooner, right? Or again? Would you rather say Lamar's going to get to his first Super Bowl, or would you say Joe Burrow will actually go back to a Super Bowl? The Bengals are doing Joe Burrow dirty by being a cheap organization, not surrounding him with a good defense. Burrow's stats today: 30 for 39, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns, and a pick. Absurd. That's fantasy quarterback number 1 probably in the NFL. But they gave up 41 points, some of them in overtime, to Lamar Jackson, who, in my opinion, is the best football player in the world. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the world, but Lamar Jackson might be the best football player in the world. He made a touchdown pass. I believe it was to Isaiah Likely in a broken play where the ball hit the ground and he almost fumbled it, and he stiff-armed a defender, but felt like 2 times and then threw a dart into the end zone for a touchdown. It might be one of the most spectacular plays Lamar Jackson has done in his whole entire career. The dude is absurd. The dude is amazing. The guy just plays football better than anyone else plays football in the NFL. Football, not quarterback, again. Lamar's stats: 26 for 42, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Oh, and just added a cool 12 for 55 on the ground. So what's that? 403 total yards for Lamar Jackson. Beats his division rivals. The team starts off 0-3. Now they're 0-2, and now they're 3-2. But to the part of the organizations, you can be the world's most talented employee. You can be the world's most talented architect, doctor. We'll use a doctor for example, surgeon. But if you're at the wrong hospital with the wrong staff around you, the wrong assistants, you can mess up the open heart surgery. That's what's happened with Joe Burrow. He has no help. He has no support system. They got to pay Jamar Chase. If they don't pay Jamar Chase, then he has nothing. The defense is horrible. The head coach, I feel like, can be good, but he's also working with nothing. This defense is one of the worst defenses in the NFL. The Bengals just give up way too many points, way too easily. And that's why the Bengals have fallen to 1-4 and looking at themselves as, hey, we're wasting the prime of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's now on his 5th season in the NFL, I believe. 4th or 5th for Joe Burrow. I'm going to double check that for you guys. I think he's in his 5th season in the NFL. His rookie year, yes, his 5th season. Rookie year, only played 10 games, got hurt. Last year, only played 5 games, got hurt. 2023, 10 games. He's only had one healthy season. Well, here's another healthy season, what it looks like a healthy season at least. And the Bengals, well, they're just treating Joe Burrow wrong. They are literally putting him in the most difficult situation ever. Now they're 0-3 at home. Usually you win your home games. Luckily for them, we're going to be talking about them being 2-3 because they got the Giants, at Browns. They should win both of those games. Then Eagles, Raiders, but then Ravens, Chargers, Steelers. They have to win their next 4 games. They have to get to 5-4 to have a shot at the playoffs. But Bengal fans, I'm so sorry for you guys because they are blowing the prime of Joe Burrow. Poor Bengal fans. You guys can't catch a break. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. That's our post-game reaction show of all the NFL games today. My name is George on Tap. Usually we do this on Monday, but I thought we'd try to get these out on Sunday night sometimes. That way you guys get these nice and early. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.